In the 21st century, immigrants have been constantly supporting the growth and dynamism of the U.S. economy, adding trillions of dollars to the U.S. GDP and creating jobs for U.S. residents, as more than 40% of the Fortune 500 are founded by immigrants and their children. Despite the prosperity many of these immigrants brought to the U.S., immigrants are not always welcomed, especially unauthorized immigrants. As of 2017, there are approximately 11 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S. More than half of these immigrants came from Mexico, while other significant numbers came from Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, China, India, and Korea. Over half of these people immigrate to the U.S. through crossing the Mexican-American borders. However, in recent years, there are increasing numbers of immigrants entering the U.S. legally with non-immigrant visas and overstayed their permitted validity period in the U.S. Both crossing the border or overstaying visas are risky, and there are a few key reasons to why these immigrants are willing to take the risk. Most commonly, these immigrants are driven by the economic opportunities that they lack in their home country. They immigrate to America in hopes to improve their lives and those of their children, with the government benefits, education, and other opportunities that exist in the U.S. Some immigrants, however, choose to take the risk for family reunion. Many of the illegal immigrants are part of the families of authorized immigrants or native-born Americans. Currently in the U.S., there are about 7 million people in mixed status families, meaning that there are one or more illegal immigrants in their family. Other illegal immigrants enter the U.S. as refugees. These immigrants are in fear of persecution in their home country due to their ethnicity, nationality, religion, political opinion, or being part of a specific social group. Regardless of the motivation behind these immigrants, their existence in the U.S. is controversial among legal residents and citizens of the U.S. Advocates of these illegal immigrants include family members in the U.S. waiting for family unity and employers who seek for employees for unskilled jobs with low pay. Advocates generally believe that illegal immigrants are people who are seeking for a better and safer life for themselves and their children and would stay out of trouble. Opponents often believe that these illegal immigrants are people disrupting American citizens by taking American jobs and resources. Opponents also view illegal immigrants as criminals who would menace American neighborhoods. Some opponents are also people with strong nativism who see these illegal immigrants as inferior people. So how and to what extent does illegal immigration in the 21st century truly impact the U.S.? Economically speaking, there are different assumptions about illegal immigrants taking over American jobs. While it is true that the majority of these illegal immigrants immigrated to the U.S. to seek for better economic opportunities, most often they are taking the low-pay, hard-laboring jobs that are unwanted by illegal residents. Because most illegal immigrants have barriers over language, education, and legal status, their job options are very limited. However, their contribution to the U.S. workforce is quite impressive. Undocumented immigrants, while they are only 3.5% of the U.S. population, they represent 4.9% of the U.S. labor force. Some opponents have concerns over undocumented immigrants as criminals. This includes President Trump, who once claimed that illegal immigrants are most likely to commit crimes and disrupt the lives of legal residents. However, according to the FBI, from years 2000 to 2015, although the population of illegal immigrants raised by 2.4%, violent crime rates dropped by 16%, and property crime rate dropped by 21%. In addition, out of the 11 million undocumented immigrants, only 7.5% has committed a crime and 2.7% of those has committed a felony. In terms of politics, these immigrants have very little impact on U.S. politics because they are unable to vote or gain political position due to their legal status. In fact, illegal immigrants can hardly become legal citizens because even if they are eligible for a green card, they would have to face lengthy bars to re-enter the U.S., and many illegal immigrants do not want to take the risk.
Similar to the immigrants of the 21st century, Irish immigrants of the early 19th century shared common motivations. Mass numbers of Irish immigrated to the U.S. seeking jobs and opportunities to improve their current status, as well as hopefully finding a future for generations to come. Similar to the immigrants of today, these Irish immigrants took laboring jobs that were often left unwanted by the majority of U.S. citizens. Not only did they work the jobs that went unwanted by everyone, they also worked for less. Despite the similarities, these Irish immigrants had a stronger push factor that contributed to their desire to immigrate to America, the potato famine. Without it, over 750,000 lives were lost to starvation. This ultimately led to the massive influx of immigrants during this time period. Here are some of the products of the immigration. Economically, the increased immigration spurred America's economy. Many of the immigrants became servants or worked in labor. However, some were able to make it into the higher class jobs. This influx was also detrimental because it caused some Americans to lose their jobs to immigrants willing to take lower wages. Another major effect they had on America was their impact during the Civil War. Many Irish immigrants became soldiers. In fact, the Irish soldiers were partially what gave the North a numerical advantage during the war. Politically, the Irish had very few rights in the 1840s and 50s, and an even less chance of gaining representatives elected to a political position. Thus, they were stuck in this position of being low class for a while, before the American society accepted them and they were able to build their status and become American. Socially, the Irish underwent countless scrutinies and hardships during their early years in the U.S. They had trouble finding work because of the sheer number of immigrants and the American society's unwillingness to give up their jobs. Many immigrants took jobs with bargaining companies. This allowed the Irish to be in almost every labor-intensive industry in the country. They also experienced discrimination because of their religion. During this time in America, Catholics weren't accepted nearly as much due to a massive population of Protestants. Mainly due to these two facts, the Irish stayed in the lower classes of society. At one point in the 1840s, they were considered to be on the same level as the free black man. During the early to mid-1880s, Chinese immigration to the U.S. was in full swing. Attracted by the gold rush in California, many Chinese immigrated to the United States western borders by sea both legally and illegally, seeking economic opportunities which they lacked in their homeland. These Chinese immigrants, similar to the immigrants today, face hatred and racism from the nativist Americans. This resulted in the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which refused to allow any Chinese from entering America legally except for a select few. Similarly to how the Latin Americans reacted despite the legal administrations, some Chinese continued to enter into the U.S. illegally. Here are some of the resulting impacts of the immigration. Economically, many Chinese immigrated originally to be involved in the California gold rush. However, when the gold rush was coming to a close, the Chinese immigrants who had originally come for the gold rush were out of a job. This prompted them to expand into all sorts of industries in the homeland. Some even became entrepreneurs. Much like the Irish before them, they were willing and eager to work for wages that were less than anyone else, which, while good for business, hurt the employment rate. Socially, in the 1880s, when the Chinese immigration was in full swing, the American public began to be very against the Chinese immigrating just for labor. They were uprooting many Americans from jobs they had held down for a while, but due to the Chinese working for cheaper, they were forced out. This cultivated a nativist force in America that was hardly seen before. It was so strong that it eventually led to the Chinese Exclusion Act, which stopped labor immigration from China altogether. The people who were stuck in America when the act was ratified were denied the ability to gain citizenship. a certificate of residence or risk being deported. Politically, during the period of time, the president and other government officials were supportive of the nativist movement. President Arthur even signed the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1892. The nativist movement eventually allowed for a platform to be built, the Noda. The Chinese Exclusion Act was one of the many acts of nativism made by the U.S. The Great Migration took place during World War I. As many Americans joined the United States military to fight the Axis powers in Europe, jobs were abandoned completely. This caused many laboring and manufacturing job opportunities to open in the North. With the tempting economic opportunities and the desire to escape racism and sharecropping in the South, a large pool of African Americans struggled to migrate to the North. As increasing numbers of African Americans entered the North, discrimination due to racism was raised. Here are some of the resulting impacts of the Great Migration. During World War I, the U.S. faced a major economic problem with its industries and manufacturing, especially during a wartime situation. When all the men had left to fight the good fight, the home front had few people left in the labor force. This prompted businesses to look outside of where they would usually look for labor, the South. They encouraged African Americans to migrate north and take up the jobs left by the soldiers. This was a very good offer and led millions to move north for a better life. Socially, when the Great Migration began, the North was relatively okay with the influx of African Americans. However, when the amount began to grow, discrimination grew with it. Although the racism wasn't nearly as bad as the South, it was still brutal. And when the soldiers eventually came back at the end of the war, many of the African Americans enjoying a better life in the North were forced from their jobs and replaced by the men who worked there before the war. Politically, the black community during this time held very little weight due to the extreme racism and segregation in the country. This was eventually solved by the Civil Rights Act. Despite this, the U.S. government still promoted moving north to African Americans in the South.
Recently, President Trump has placed 3 executive orders on illegal immigration regulations, reversing the previous policies enacted by the Obama administration. This includes creating a fence along the Mexican-American border, intended to improve national security as well as lowering illegal immigration rates and expedited removal of illegal and potentially dangerous immigrants, specifically those of Islamic religion. This sets the stage for greater expansion of unprecedented immigrant removals, which could potentially harm the U.S. economy. In 2010, illegal immigrants paid for a total of $13 billion of Social Security and Medicare, while only receiving $1 billion in service. And they also paid an estimated of $11.7 billion a year for state and local taxes. In fact, deporting all illegal immigrants would cost the U.S. billions of dollars. It would require about $114 billion over 20 years to deport all illegal immigrants. That is $10,070 per person. This includes the cost of transporting them back to their home country and the immigration court process. Thus, illegal immigrants potentially bring less harm than benefits to the U.S.